Okay, action.
All things are possible with God. Chef Vincent of Tran finds inspiration from God to overcome life challenges. Vincent DePaul Tran is amazed at God's providence in his life. Vincent is the owner and chef patron of Millicent Brasserie, an award-winning and highly renowned restaurant humbly set in a nondescript strip mall in Broken Arrow, which he opened with his wife in March 2015. His arrival at this point in life journey has not come without its challenges. Vincent was born in Vietnam in 1970. His father worked with the U.S. Army at the time, and when South Vietnam fell in 1975, his father evacuated from the country for safety purposes. He relocated to Tulsa, leaving his wife and 6 children, including Vincent, in Vietnam. Vincent and his family remained in Vietnam until 1985. When they were granted immigrant status, they joined their father in Tulsa, but the transition was not easy. They struggled learning their new languages, and the culture shock was nearly insurmountable. Vincent said that the family disintegrated and they all went their own way. As his family fragmented, an Italian family informally adopted him, providing him much-needed support and a place to stay. Marge Croce, affectionately called Nana Marge, became his surrogate mother. Yet even as his own family was struggling to survive in their new homeland, Vincent's mother made sure that they remained steadfast in their faith. "I'm a cradled Catholic," said Vincent. "We were raised in the church, and my mother always reminded us of our faith. It was a good thing." When Vincent graduated high school in 1989, he planned to attend the University of Texas in Austin with his best friend Michael McCartney. Unfortunately, he didn't have the financial resources available at the time, so he found a job with a local environmental reporting company. Vincent helped that small business grow rapidly for the next 4 years. Vincent found himself with a good job and the work he enjoyed. But then he received a call from Michael, who had just graduated from college. He invited Vincent down to Austin so that he could fulfill his dream of studying at UT, even offering to pay for his tuition. Vincent couldn't refuse the offer and decided to leave the security of Oklahoma to begin his college studies. He discovered he wasn't really cut out for campus life, though. "I hated every minute of it," he teased with a laugh. After graduating college in 1997, Vincent found work as a software developer in the Houston area. "My goal at the time of my life was to make as much money as I could. I'm not proud to say it. I even stopped going to church," he said. While he was working in Houston, he married Millie in 1999. Then they were blessed with their son Michael in 2003. Millie is from Tulsa, and when Michael was born, she wanted to be closer to home. They decided to move to Dallas, where Vincent's brother lived. Vincent had grown weary of the software business, so they decided to start a high-end aquarium business together. The business was initially successful, but they soon began to struggle. Then, when Vincent and Millie experienced the tragic loss of a miscarriage, life had grown increasingly difficult for Vincent and his family. Then his brother invited him to participate in a Cursilla retreat. "A Cursilla weekend changed my whole life," said Vincent. "It really is simplified the faith for me at a time when I was not active in the church. I realized I was called to live as much like Christ as I could. And it showed me how I should treat people. So now everything I try to do is live like Christ. I try to keep that in mind all the time." With a struggling business and the family tragedy, Vincent decided to leave the business in Dallas and take his family back to Tulsa. "It was the toughest time of my life," reflected Vincent. "My wife had suffered a carriage and the business was going down, so I walked away from it. I was down and out with nothing. In 2010, I officially became a loser. It wasn't a proud moment of my life. The only thing I had left was the woodworking equipment we used to build the aquarium. I didn't really know a lot about carpentry, but decided to open a shop in Broken Arrow called Specialty Wood Creations, and built custom pieces there. People loved the work, but it was sporadic and didn't provide enough to support my family. Still, I believe you can do anything you are willing to pay an extreme cost. I had loved cooking all my life, so I began to consider starting a new career. I thank God I have a very supportive wife," he smiled. Vincent called his friend Michael and acquired funding to start a catering company. He built a professional kitchen and made contacts in the professional world that provide opportunities to cater lunches and dinners, which soon established his reputation as an accomplished chef, even though he never had any formal culinary training. "Those are tough years, but my faith got me through it," he said. At the time, Vincent's son started attending St. Pius X Catholic School. Vincent eventually made friends with a custodian who would open up the chapel for Vincent every morning 30 minutes early so that he could have time to himself. Every day I would drop off my son at school and then go pray in the chapel and meditate what I needed to accomplish that day. The daily reflection kept me sane, he said. In 2013, he began to seriously consider the possibility of opening his own restaurant. He worked long hours every day, building furniture as well as running his catering business. Since his woodworking shop was not conducive to a restaurant, he approached his landlord, who happened to have a dilapidated space that had formerly been a restaurant, which is the current location of Millicent Brasserie, 800 South 9th Street in Broken Arrow. Vincent had a vision for the restaurant. He taught himself all the necessary construction procedures and design technology necessary for a multi-sensory presentation and transformed the interior to a Paris-inspired tableau. He spent more than 2 years toiling on the decor and kitchen. The fruits of his labors were realized when Millicent Brasserie opened in 2015. The name of the restaurant is a combination of his and his wife's name, revealing the love for his wife, intense commitment to his family, and self-professed sentimentality. Shortly after opening the restaurant, a critic from Tulsa Food came to one of Vincent's 9-course Michelin-inspired dinners. He was overwhelmed by the food quality, its presentation, and the unique multi-sensory, almost sacramental experience. It was a big break for the restaurant, and it was confirmed for Vincent that he was called to this for a living. The accolades for fine dining critics and patrons continue to pour into this day. I pray for my inspiration every day. I even pray over the food and order the courses we offer. I know that God has given me the ability to do this, he said. While I am not classically trained, I work hard. My food is crazy, and I do everything in my power to give the best dish I can. When the Tulsa World asked me my secret, I told them, the man upstairs is right behind me. Vincent's Catholic faith is an essential aspect of his entire life, including his business. The Tran family has been active members at the St. Benedict Church in Broken Arrow for several years now, and Vincent finds Father Joe Townsend to be an inspiration for his faith. I really try to be like Christ whenever I am with other people. I invited Father Joe to come to one of our first events, and I remember asking him, how am I glorifying God? He told me, what you do here is absolutely glorifying God. I have always wanted to do something good, and I think I have found it. God's providence to me has been outrageous. On the north wall of the dining room, Vincent fashioned the word joy from wood, with the J in the form of an Eiffel Tower, the O as a dinner plate, and the Y as a martini glass. He did this to communicate a simple message. Joy is the one thing I want people to have when they leave here, he said. Even if it isn't grounded in Catholic faith, it can come from the human experiences of romance, food, and drink. People do leave here happy with a grin on their face. Vincent is now in the process of writing a book, and he has a single goal. He wants readers to know that there is a God, and you can ask him to help you. Never give up, he said. There is always the hope of redemption and renewal with God, no matter what life brings your way.
Excellent job, Michael. Thank you.